Hi everyone. So when it comes to anxiety, I think it's really important for us to get to the root of why we're anxious in the first place. Now, of course, we all get nervous from time to time. For example, if there's an upcoming exam or a job interview, or maybe just something that takes us a little out of our comfort zone. Perfectly normal to get those butterflies in your stomach. However, where it starts to get out of hand and it starts to affect our well-being and we're not happy anymore and we're always thinking about something and feeling quite down, then that's an issue that needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. So what is the root of the anxiety? Is it a dispute with someone? Is there a problem at work with your boss, or perhaps with a work colleague, or even a family member? Is it something that a big change in your life that you're going to be facing soon? So identify what the actual issue, where this anxiety is coming from, and don't just think maybe it's the first thing that you think of. Sometimes you have to strip the layers back and really see what the real issue is. Once you've identified the root, then start to plan some actions of what you're going to do to actually deal with it, because sometimes not dealing with something makes us feel worse. But if we actually have a plan of action on how to deal with that thing that's bothering us, then already we start to feel better. So let me give you a practical example. Maybe you've had an issue with your boss at work, there's been a misunderstanding. Instead of just kind of wondering, oh, mate, what's my boss thinking of me, or how is this going to affect my job? Why not just book an appointment with your boss and have a frank and open conversation with him or her? Sometimes things are not as bad as they actually seem, and sometimes if it is as bad as they seem, at least you can actually get to sort things out. Something else maybe that could be making you feel anxious is that you have a lot on your plate at the moment, maybe at home, maybe there's things to deal with. So what can you do in this instance? I love to write things down. I love to organize myself, because sometimes we have so many thoughts in our head and it's so difficult to kind of plan everything in our own heads. So what I like to do is actually make a list of things that I need to deal with, a nice to-do list where I note down everything that I need to do. And then I plan realistically, how am I going to get all these things done? And I put some things for tomorrow, some things for the next day, some things for the next week. And I start to go through things bit by bit. Sometimes just the thought of having so many things can make us feel anxious. But if you actually sit down and plan when to do what, this could be really helpful. So those are my top tips on anxiety.
Hello, I'm Dr. Rob Hicks, and today I'd like to talk with you about anxiety and the different ways that you can keep anxiety symptoms under control. Remember, be positive, think positively. It is possible to do this. Reading a book about managing anxiety, doing an online course, for example, can be really helpful, particularly those that are based around cognitive behavioural therapy, CBT. Regular exercise, might be a brisk walk, it might be going for a jog, it might be going for a bike ride. That can be very beneficial because that helps to relieve tension, and it also releases the hormone serotonin that helps us feel good. It's a good idea to reduce the amount of caffeine that you consume during the day, because caffeine can actually trigger symptoms of anxiety and make it harder to manage those symptoms. And indeed, it's a good idea not to smoke and not to overdo it drinking alcohol, because both those things can actually again make anxiety symptoms more likely and make them difficult to manage. Tiredness again makes it difficult for us to manage anxiety symptoms, so get enough sleep, rest and relaxation, and learn relaxation techniques and practice these. It might be deep breathing exercises, it might be yoga, anything that works for you. For me, for example, I like to listen to music, I like to sing, and I like to knit. Those, and look at pictures of happy memories with my family. Those things distract and they help us get into a better position to manage the symptoms. And I promote taking 5 minutes out every hour to do these sorts of things to help us relax and unwind. If you're finding though that your anxiety symptoms are not controlled well enough with these measures, or that you're feeling overwhelmed by your anxiety, or you've got other symptoms like you're feeling depressed or you've got mood swings, then have a word with your doctor. Don't be embarrassed or feel shy or guilty about asking for help and advice. They may advise you to do self-guided techniques. They may advise you to do formal CBT therapy. They may advise you that medication is an option for you. But remember, always ask for help and advice. Never be frightened to ask for help and advice, and also think positively. It is possible to get in control of your anxiety symptoms rather than allowing them to control you.
So hi everybody, I hear that you need some tips on anxiety. Now you've come absolutely to the right person, because remember, inside every single one of you, there is a superhero fighting to get out. Now, where anxiety is concerned, you have to remember, it's a little bit like my friend here, Violet, from The Incredibles. Now remember Violet? She had her own personal force field, and what's happening is, your anxiety is a little bit like she had an opportunity where she didn't want to use her superpower, but when she learned how to use it properly, it was able to protect her and to those who she loved. Now your anxiety is a little bit like that. It wants to protect you, but at the moment it's being the boss of you rather than you being the boss of it. So let's have a think about some ways in which you can fight back and get hold of your anxiety. So one of the ways is to put together a keeping calm tin. Now in your tin you can have a whole range of things to help you to reclaim back your superpower. One of the things I have in my tin when I've got big monster feelings that just won't go away is my breathing ball. Now here is my breathing ball. Now with our breathing ball, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and breathe out. In and breathe out, and keep doing that until you're feeling better. Now the other thing I've got in here is some bubbles, because when we blow bubbles we have to concentrate on our breathing. So if I can get the lid off, whoop, if I can get the lid off, here we go. Now let's breathe together and blow some bubbles, and carry on doing that until you feel calm. And the two other things I want to share with you today is having something to draw and write on, and also to put together your own personal stress ball. So until next time, embrace your inner superhero, fight back, let's get hold of anxiety.